Yo, what's up everybody? This is Rob with Fruit of Labor Landscaping, and it is time to reveal this past week's What Is It Wednesday. Congratulations to this week's winner, and thank you to everybody who participated. And without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and talk about this week's plant. All right guys, so this is the plant that I showed you on Wednesday. Told you it was a Florida native, told you it was edible. It's got these small flowers that seem to attract a wide variety of bees, and then they turn into seeds. And this is Florida Betony. You could see the Latin name or scientific botanical name, whichever flavor you prefer on what it's called. And this is our Florida native wildflower. It does prefer somewhat moist. Now, it doesn't have to be super wet, but it does not generally like to be dried out. It'll flower in full sun, it can flower in full shade, it really doesn't care. And I see this kind of growing all over the place on the side of the road, especially if there's a drainage ditch nearby. And it's really hard to kind of point out or identify without these flowers, especially if that area is getting mowed. But chances are you have this growing somewhere near you or around you. This is a plant that we sell in our gardening shows that we attend. It's also a plant that we sell in our online store. It fits kind of the bill for our business as far as bringing native plants to people, especially Florida native plants, but also edible plants, because we like to do foodscapes and food forest. So not only is this a native plant, it also brings in the pollinators. And it also is edible. And I'm going to show you the edible part of this plant here in a second. I'm just looking for the right one to kind of showcase it. As you could tell, it's probably going to be the root. And the root is also, here we go, you can kind of see through the pot there. The root is also what gives it another common name of rattlesnake plant. And that's because the edible tubers look like rattlesnake tails. Rattlesnake tails. So let's go ahead and pop one of these out of the pot and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so this is the plant popped out of the pot, and man, do those things look like rattlesnake tails, like the rattler, right? They kind of look wormy, I guess, in a sense too, but they're edible. And I guess what I could compare it the most closely to would be a radish. And they've got like a crisp kind of, not super tasteful, but a crisp kind of texture to them. So they are a good edible tuber plant. Now, harvesting the tubers for a plant that is in the ground would prove kind of difficult and likely going to damage the plant a little bit. If you are interested in using this plant for its edible, uses, I would recommend leaving it in a pot or growing it in a raised bed or somewhere that you can kind of get a little bit easier access to those roots for harvesting. So hope you guys enjoyed this week and this week's What Is It Wednesday. Hope you guys had a good week, and we'll see you next time. Hope you learned a thing or two, and make sure you come back next week for another edition of What Is It Wednesday. Later, guys.